He got an email from or a text from just like 10 minutes. Her whole center were freezer. But that's the most vulnerable population anyway, you know, like scary. I worry about my parents.
Justin, do you want to introduce our guest?
Thanks, Chairman Wingate. So we've got Mike Razor from MGT here with us today to kind of go over a final report. He's got a couple of documents in front of you. I think there is the copy of the final report that should look like this, and then stapled copy of the presentation that Mike will be going through. several pieces to it. I think we'll take questions as we go along, and I'll turn it over to Mike from here.
Good evening. Can you all hear me well enough? Great. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank you for the trust that the school district and board has placed in us to bring you these recommendations. We were having a conversation earlier today, and I said, if this was just a math problem, there's a pretty easy solution to it. But I like to think of these as math problems inside a political science class. And you then have different factors that play into this. And the other thing is, and this is before we ever begin the presentation, you know, when I worked in the school district and ran transportation, UPS was headquartered in Louisville, where our school district was. And I would say, you know, people would say, why can't you be as efficient as UPS? And I would say, because we're delivering children, not boxes. And it's the same thing when we think about this. We're talking about families and students and communities. At the same time, there are finite amounts of resources, and there are efficiencies that you have to look to achieve, so you can use your resources on those families and students, in many cases, instead of windows and doors. So just wanted to preface that. Again, thank you for this opportunity. I am willing, as we go along, to answer questions, or at the end, answer them as well. So let's begin, and let's just kind of look at what we're going over tonight. So there's going to be some recapping. Some stuff's going to seem a little repetitive, but you've got to kind of lay the menu out and look at what we've done. And also, you know, when you think about it, we've been here working with the district for almost a year now. So there is a little history to that we want to lay through. So first of all, you know, the mission statement of this district is to become the fastest improving district in Tennessee. Well, part of that is also the physical infrastructure of the school district and what that is like. So also, I want to talk a little bit about a timeline, because in 1999, now over 20 years ago, which just still blows my mind, but 1999, over 20 years ago, there was a facilities master plan developed. But really what that only focused on was what the conditions of the buildings were at the time. So you fast forward to spring 2017, discussions of facilities needs started. And then in spring 2019, the academic goals and building condition understandings were created. And then we began working to put together a plan for you. So tonight, we're going to I'm going to present our recommendations for a master plan that doesn't just focus on the condition of the buildings, but focuses on academics, focuses on efficiency, and also focuses on the community. And then, you know, it obviously would be our hope as MGT that Hamilton County Schools and the school board would adopt a 10-year strategic facilities plan from these recommendations. And at the end of the day, too, I think we all know this, but since there are people in the community here and also people watching on the stream of this, these are just recommendations that we are making to the district and the board. These are no final decisions that have been made. These are just the decisions and recommendations that we are making as a third party who can come in and look with an objective eye at your school district. So there's a real push within the school district for effective and efficient operations, a real push around that. And we've talked about in previous times about deferred maintenance needs in the school district that are not the fault of anybody on the board right now. They're not the fault of the current administration, but are just decades old things that now year over year have gotten us in the condition that we're in. So again, that talks about the need for a future capital plan looking at efficiency and effectiveness. And I just want to reiterate on that. as we go through this, we do have to have an eye toward that so we can have a sustainable plan that the school district can afford. So again, as we look at this with the vision for the community, you know, academic excellence, neighborhood schools, close relationships with teachers, and a need for action. When I was here in January and we had community forums, we shared out this information that these were the things that were important to families in Hamilton County, regardless of the community that they lived in within the county. Again, that there was academic excellence within their schools, that they wanted a neighborhood school, a close relationship with teachers, and they also wanted something to be done. So the plan we put together is about implementing 21st century learning environments, safe and secure spaces for our students and our faculty, improved magnet and CTE programs, you know, and just high quality learning environments. But then also what we're hoping to present to you tonight is something that is achievable. Now, it's still going to be a big lift, but we're presenting to you what we feel is achievable for this school district. And before we go any further, I really want to just make sure that we all understand what the main issue is that Hamilton County is facing. It's a sustainability issue. Really, I don't know any other way to say it, is the district can't keep doing what it's been doing and sustain buildings. I mentioned this at either a focus group or a community forum a few weeks ago when I was here in January, that my biggest fear as a chief operations officer was when I was going to have to call up the superintendent and say, we can't have school today. Well, it didn't snow. We can't have school today. Well, why can't we have school? Because the HVAC system is down at this school, or the school has flooded because of the condition of the roof of the building. We're on the cusp of that. Well, and in some situations, those are things that could happen any day. But at one school, you can overcome that. At two schools, maybe you can overcome that. But if the deferred maintenance isn't addressed, if the capital needs aren't addressed, you're talking multiple schools that you can't address all at once, and they're not the kind of things that are easy fixes. Then the other thing that plays into this is the utilization of the schools. As much as community schools, as much as neighborhood schools, as much as small schools are important parts of the community, you have to be able to afford what you have. You can't be house poor as a school district. And what we see is a school district that is pushing on being house poor. And the reason we say that is because of the very deferred maintenance costs and the maintenance costs that the school district, as Dr. Johnson has pointed out before, should be spending. But isn't, because they're spending money in the classroom on kids. And you have to look at right sizing in situations like this. And those are going to be some recommendations that we make regarding that. So I don't want this to be a presentation of doom and gloom, though. I wanted to lay some things out up front, but I don't want this to be a doom and gloom presentation. I want this to be an opportunity presentation, an opportunity recommendations from us. So all is not lost. So this is the opportunity that you can create 21st century learning environments. We can create equitable access, because one of the things, and you'll see this a little further through the presentation, is there's a lot of inequities in facilities, in utilization, in resources throughout the district. And every time a new school building is built because of growth, it only points out those inequities. If you think about school districts in your board districts and school buildings across the district, you have some that are brand new, state of the art, and then not far from here, you have Tyner that was built in 1937, and it looks like a building that was built in 1937. And not that you shouldn't build out for growth, you should. But you also have to make sure that you're investing in the buildings that you have and the already established communities that you have. So we're going to talk a little bit about the data of our findings. And some of this is stuff that you have seen before, but it does paint the picture. We project about a 7% growth in Hamilton County over the next 8 to 10 years. So that's the first piece of data that you're going to hear. And with that, here's the utilization of the buildings today. So at the elementary school level, there is a 93% utilization rate, which sounds great. But I really caution us, we put averages up here because those make sense to people. But I caution you to look at averages and say everything's okay just because of averages. Because you have some buildings that are utilized as little as 51%, and then other buildings that have 128% of their capacity enrolled. So we'll see a visual here in a second that kind of gives you an idea where the schools fall, but you really see this across the board. So if you project that out, we project out that only 35% of the schools in 2028 will have adequate space in them. And that you'll have basically, of what's left, half the schools under-enrolled, half the schools over-enrolled. And only 35% in 2028 that have adequate space in those schools. We also looked at educational suitability and technology readiness. Educational suitability, and it's been explained to you before, is simply how well equipped the buildings, the classrooms are for what is being done there. In other words, is this elementary school well suited to be an elementary school in the year 2019, the year 2020? High school, middle school, career and technical education center, are they suitable for that? And then technology readiness today means, really when we boil it down, we look at a lot of factors, but it's basically the ubiquitousness of technology surrounding the internet, because we've become a cloud-based economy and an internet and Wi-Fi based education system in a lot of ways. So when we look at tech readiness, how well outfitted is that building for what a student and a teacher should be able to do in the year 2020? And then in addition to that, we just simply look at the condition of the building and we look at the condition of the grounds. And a lot of times what we're looking at the grounds, and this is most easily put in high school terms. What do the athletic facilities look like outside? Is there adequate parking in the parking lot? Those type of things. But also at the elementary school, are the grounds suitable? Are there enough grounds? Is there acreage suitable for that? And you can see how we weigh this when we evaluate a school. So 50% is based on the condition of that building. 30% is based upon the grounds, and then 10% for the educational suitability, and 10% for the technology readiness. And if you look on the desk next to Justin, you'll see a very thick stack of papers. That is each of these individual evaluations for each of the schools. We didn't want you to have something that looked like an old New York City phone book. I don't even know if they make phone books anymore, but what looked like an old New York City phone book in front of you. So those are available, but you really get a bigger feel for the district as you look at the summary that we're going through. So from a facilities assessment results, looking at the condition of the buildings, the average building in Hamilton County is in fair condition. If you want to think about it that way, the average building in Hamilton County is in fair condition. And on a 100-point scale, you go from as low as 44% to as high as 97%. Educational suitability wise, you go from as low as 42% to as high as 94%. Tech readiness, low as 48 to as high as 100%. And then grounds from as low as 16% to as high as 96%. But by and large, the average building in Hamilton County is in a fair condition when you put these together. And the next few slides are going to look very similar, but they are illustrating different things. So what we're looking at here, and if your eyes are anything like mine, I'm going to try not to move so I can read them. But you can see by count how many schools fall in different areas of, or I'm sorry, how many schools fall in the different categories of unsatisfactory, poor, fair, good, and excellent. And again, by and large, you can see, condition-wise, the majority of schools fall in fair or worse. Educational suitability-wise, fair or worse. Technology looks a little better. The site score or the ground score, fair or worse, and then combined, again, the majority, fair or worse. So this breaks out by level of school, simply the building condition score. So you can see that in elementary school, you're doing okay. Middle school, there are no middle schools in excellent condition. There are some in good. But then again, you have the rest that are fair or worse. Middle school, high school sites, the 4 of those are in good shape. High schools, you can see that only one high school scores good. Magnet CTE, again, you see that. And then service and office buildings, now there are only 4, but fair and unsatisfactory. And just one thing to say, and the central office people here would agree with me, if you have to choose, this is how you'd want this. You want the schools to be where the attention is given, not the central office. Educational suitability, I'm not going to read through every one of these like I just did the last one, but I will leave this up here for a second for everybody to get a chance to digest it before we move on to the next slide. But again, you can see how the numbers break out. Technology readiness, again, tech readiness is by far the best category for the school district. And then site score, you can see that again. And then here are the combined scores. So we did pretty extensive community outreach. And in December, there were 5 different locations on 3 nights. There was community engagement done. In January, we came back and went to 2 different locations on 2 nights. And then also, in addition, in December and January, we also did focus groups. And there were over 4,500 respondents to the online survey. So from a purposeful standpoint on the school district's part, on MGT's part, there was community outreach. And there was community input and feedback that was sought. But having been at the community forums in January and the focus groups in January, not only was community input sought, there was community input. There were great crowds at both of the community forums that were held in January. Also, each of our focus groups, I think almost everybody that was invited to them showed up and provided meaningful feedback for us. The one thing I will say, much of the feedback we got along the way was the same feedback that we continued to get along the way, which is good. It's consistent feedback, but we'll talk a little bit about that. You know, and we sort of led with this, that the feedback that we got in December said it's important for there to be academic excellence in the schools. Neighborhood schools should be retained if at all possible. They want close relationships with their teachers, and something's got to be done. So in January, we talked about the feedback that we'd gotten, and we reached back out. A few themes as we dove a little deeper in January that came out is we want equity. There needs to be equitable academic environments across the county. We'd rather have we want high academic standards. And there was an emphasis on teacher to student ratio, and I want to talk about teacher to student ratio because there was also some feedback that we got about large schools, and I believe even sometimes there was confusion about large schools equal large student to teacher ratio, and that necessarily doesn't have to be the fact that you can have larger schools with larger enrollment and still have a reasonable student to teacher ratio and keep that tight relationship. There was support around tighter middle and high school new and a merger. There was favorability in the investment into Normal Park, providing renovation and update. And again, there was this need for something to be done. The other underlying sentiment that we got, especially in the breakouts as you walked around and you heard people talking, something needs to be done. We're afraid it's not going to be. That was something that we heard, that there are things that need to be done. We're afraid that it's not going to be. The other thing that came up is there was a lot of input around CSLA, CCA, and CSAS, around location, around building, around program, and we listened to a lot of that. And we took that into our recommendations as we made them. The one thing that I will say, sort of previewing some of our recommendations, is we come into communities and we take community feedback, and we invest in the community while we're here. Like I said, it's been almost a year that we've been working with Hamilton County Schools. However, at the same time, the reason groups like MGT come in is you have somebody with a third party, somebody with an independent eye, somebody who can give an objective look into the needs of a community and make recommendations that are sometimes apolitical, even though this is like I said, it's a math problem inside a political science course. But at the end of the day, it does have to be sustainable. So we've got to make recommendations that we feel like are best for today. And also, you don't get many bites at this apple. So the decisions we make around this are decisions that are going to have to last for 20 years. You're not going to replace schools every 5 years, replace schools every 10 years. These are 20, 25, 50-year recommendations, even though we're going to be presenting a 10-year facilities plan. So the building a school is in today, many of the recommendations we made may be because, yeah, it'll be fine 5 years from now. It won't be fine 50 years from now. And the money that would be spent in that building wouldn't be the most efficient spend for the school district when it could be spent, again, on the kids. So these are going to be our recommendations. We've broken them down into the regions that we've talked about before. There will be some red, yellow, and green graphs coming up that you're going to see, but then when we get through the red, yellow, and green graphs, it's harder to say than you would think. it's going to be broken out into here's construction recommendations, here's renovation recommendations, here's closing recommendations, that type of thing. So I'll briefly go through the red, yellow, green slides and then into the recommendations. So just a look at the Western region. In the Western region, of the 24 schools, 5 were unsatisfactory or poor, 9 were fair, and 10 were good or excellent. And then from a utilization standpoint, you can see that it was 50-50. There are 12 of the buildings that are adequately utilized, and then there are 12 buildings that aren't adequately utilized. And the reason there are 2 slides is that we didn't have all 24 on one page, so you can see them across the way. But our recommendations for the Western region, and similar to previous presentations we've made, is a school can be in multiple categories up here. And we're talking, when we talk about this, for clarity and for consistency, we're talking about the building, even though it says Soddy Daisy Middle School, and we might say it means something else a little later. As it appears up there for consistency and clarity, we're talking about that building. So in the Western region, close Soddy Daisy Middle School and move it to the current Daisy Elementary School. Close Alpine Crest Elementary School and move the students to DuPont Elementary School. Close Rivermore Elementary School and move the students to DuPont Elementary School. For renovations with additions, you'll see renovations sometimes twice on these slides. They're just straight renovations, making the building better, more suitable for education, more efficient, and then there's also renovations where we're adding for capacity. So at Big Ridge, renovate and add 150 student capacity. At Thrasher, renovate and add 400 student capacity. At Soddy Elementary School, rename it Soddy Daisy Elementary School and accommodate students from Daisy Elementary School, so you'd renovate and add capacity for 377 students. New construction, we're recommending DuPont Elementary School be demolished and build a new K-5 elementary school with 1,200 student capacity. Repurpose Daisy Elementary School and renovate and convert it to Soddy Daisy Middle School that we had just earlier spoke about. And then just straight educational suitability and efficiency renovations for Sale Creek Middle High School, the original part of the building, because we know that there's been work done there, but when there was work done there, it didn't address original components. North Hamilton County Elementary School, Soddy Daisy High School, McConnell Elementary, Hickson Elementary, Hickson High, and Red Bank High School. And then at Loftus Middle School, address the grounds deficiencies there. And then the buildings at the bottom are not impacted, at least physically, by these strategic recommendations. In the southern region, you can see of the 34 schools, that 23 of them are fair or unsatisfactory or poor, 11 are good or excellent, and then utilization-wise, it's sort of flipped in this situation. 25 are not adequately utilized. And again, these are just the rest of the schools on the spreadsheet as you're looking through it. The slide data is the same. So for the southern region, we recommend closure of Normal Park Upper, move the students to the CCA building. Closure of Normal Park Lower, move students to the CCA building. Lakeside Elementary, close the site. Tyner Middle School, close the site. CSAS, close the site and move the program to the Brainerd High School site. Clifton Hills Elementary, close the site. The Dawn program, close the site and relocate Exceptional Education program. Additions to Harrison Elementary School and add capacity for 200. Bestie Shepherd Elementary, renovate and add capacity for 300. Spring Creek Elementary School, renovate and add capacity for 300. Calvin Donaldson Elementary, renovate and add capacity for 100. Normal Park, the old CCA site, renovate and add capacity for 280, and add and add grades 6 through 12 for a total K-12 school. Then in the southern region, new construction. Orchard Knob Middle School, demolish the existing building and construct a new 1,000 capacity middle school. Tyner Middle High School, demolish the existing building and construct a new 1,500 capacity middle high school. A new CTE center, demolish the existing Barger building and build a new CTE center on the site. A new elementary school to replace Clifton Hills, build a new 1,000 student K-5 school. A new elementary school, build a new 1,000 student K-5 on the CSLA site. Brader High School, a new school for 800 students on the Dalewood site, and Dalewood students would go to Orchard Knob. CSLA, add K-5 and 612 programs at a new location with a new capacity of 1,300 students. At CCA, add K-5 and 612 programs at a new location, new capacity of 1,300 students. CSAS, add K-5 and 612 programs at a new location, new capacity of 1,300 students. And then renovations, Bestie Shepherd, Calvin Donaldson, East Ridge Middle School, with moving 100 students to East Hamilton Middle School. East Ridge High School, Lookout Valley Elementary School, Lookout Mountain Elementary School. Woodmore Elementary School, Spring Creek Elementary School, Lookout Valley Middle High, and address the capacity by rezoning students from Howard High School. Washington Alternative, repurpose and relocate alternative program to the Hillcrest Elementary School building, and then Hillcrest Elementary School repurpose as an alternative program. Then other recommendations for the southern region were that Battle Academy Elementary School would become a K-2 and Brown Academy Elementary School would become a 3-5. And there are no changes recommended for the remaining schools in the southern region. In the east, fewer schools, as you can see, and there are no unsatisfactory or poor schools in the east. You can see that utilization is still kind of across the board, except in the east, the utilization is leaning toward overcrowding instead of underutilization. Our recommendations recommendations again in the east now are, in addition to Wallace A. Smith Elementary School, renovate to address for the suitability deficiencies and add 250 student capacity. A new elementary school, and this new elementary school is likely going to be needed in the southern part of the Appsett region to accommodate growth within that region, and that's a 1,200 student capacity elementary school. Repurpose East Hamilton High School, and repurpose East Hamilton High School following completion of East Hamilton Middle School. So in other words, you're just separating them. And then renovate Brown Middle School, Central High School, Ottawa Middle School, Ottawa High School, and Hamilton County High School. At Hunter Middle School, we're going to recommend again that the grounds deficiencies be addressed, and then there are no changes at the following schools recommended as part of this plan. So, that is a lot. And additionally, what we recommended is over $800 million. Like most school boards, you don't have $800 million under the desk there. So how are you going to bite this chunk off? And what does this look like? And also what's reasonable? Because something that we've spoke about too is you can't fix this all at once, nor would you want to. Because if you fixed it all at once this year, 25 years from now, the people sitting in your seats and their seats would have this big of a problem right in their lap again, except every building would be in this case. So we need to phase this in a way that makes it doable over time to sustain and maintain. And as well as that, we need to be able to design it so you can afford it, because if you do too much construction at one time, you actually compete against yourself and raise the prices. So we've got to keep this as a reasonable amount as we look at this. So we're recommending this really in 3 phases, and right off the bat with an asterisk. We think that there should be a phase 0 as well. And phase 0 are basically some additions to some things that you're already doing. So we think there needs to be an additional $14 million that is set aside, as well as we don't have an amount because it may be an existing site, or it may be a new site that is identified and purchased for the new CSLA. But to add to CSLA, to make it K-12, that would need $11 million in addition to the money that's already set out there for that. And I believe it was 25, is that correct? So making that a total of $36 million that would be needed for that program. And then for the Harrison Elementary, $3 million, so that breaks that to a $14 million price tag for phase 0. And really, like I said, things that need to be happening right now. Here is phase 1. Phase 1 comes in at just over $375 million. And I'm going to give you a chance to just digest that and look at what phase 1 is. What we've tried to do in our phasing as we do this is, first of all, be equitable. Second of all, be realistic. Make sure that we're impacting all parts of the county. Make sure that we're impacting grade levels. And that we're not just, these 3 phases weren't Western first, Southern next. So we're mixing those up. The other thing is, there's some just priority as part of it too, is you got to do the worst first. And you can't always do that because of the cost of maybe combining some. The other thing, as we've talked about when we looked at what the phasing of this looks like and we looked at the different regions, how they're impacted, there is a real flow chart to this. So these phases are also designed so everything that we've recommended could occur, because you can't move a new school or a new group of students into a school if the students who already go there are still there, if that building is full. And you can't move students into a school that's being built if that school is not built yet. So you can see the recommendations and in the phasing, and the phases somewhat shrink in cost each time that we move through them. At the first phase, the most critical things that need to be done right away. Phase 2 comes in at just over $260 million. Again, the very same things we just talked about, trying to be equitable, trying to impact all parts of the county, trying to impact multiple grade levels, and then also making it doable. And then finally, phase 3, just under $240 million, really addressing, and every issue we're addressing we see as critical, but of the most critical, some of the least critical, or things that you have a little time hopefully to prepare for. Like some, excuse me, potentially new elementary school. That's something that hopefully you won't need until, in the absent region, until phase 3. And that's why that's put there. So, just to see it all in one slide, phase 0 through phase 3 with a grand total of $891 million. And in summary, that's 11 new buildings, 27 renovations, the increasing capacity of 6 buildings, 4 new sites, 9 sites closed. We think if you do this, Instead of having only 35% adequate space, you have 78% adequate space, and moving more in the right direction. And then what is very impressive is the top left is what the condition of the buildings look like today. And this would be at the end of all three phases. You have good or excellent buildings across the district. That was a lot of information in a really short amount of time. And I'm just gonna end with the way I began. I'm thankful, and MGT is thankful, that we were able to do this work for you. We hopefully have provided you with a roadmap and a report that is useful. And again, what we hope to be able to provide to you is that objective eye where we can provide you with some recommendations to think about. But again, at the end of the day, it becomes the work of the district and the work of the school board to approach this. And these are just recommendations of MGT to close with, in case anyone, again, would leave here tonight thinking that a school is closing tomorrow.
Mr. Razor, one, I want to thank you. I want to thank you all for the work that you've done. It has been almost a full year's worth of work, a lot of work. And we are grateful for the work that you've done, the time that you've been here, the information that you have provided us with, and again, grateful to you as we now will be able to take this and continue the dialogue as to, where do we go from here, and how do we go about beginning to remedy the facilities issues that we've faced for a while. So again, I want to thank you for that before I open it up. Also, before I open it up for any questions or comments, just want to thank Mayor Coppinger for being here with us tonight. Saw you walk in, so thank you, Mayor, for being here. With that, Dr. Highlander, I saw that you had your light on.
Yes, sir. Mike, as Chairman Wingate said, I do appreciate all the work that you guys have put into it. You've been very systematic and tried to put it in a greatest needs order, and I think that's excellent. CSLA right now, you're not making any particular recommendation, just that a new site.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not identifying a site. We're saying that needs
Just
to be identified.
it needs to be. What is the time frame on these 0, 1, 2, and 3 plans, do you think? 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, up to 10? I mean, the 10 have all done at the end of 10 years?
That would be that is aggressive. As we were discussing today when we briefed the district on the final report, any one of these phases 1 through 3 is a pretty large strategic plan for a school district.
Sure.
Just from a construction standpoint, I see them, just given my background and experience in this, as 3-year plans.
Okay.
And then with phase 0 being something that already is being worked on or could be worked on almost immediately.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I was thinking too. The 890, 897, is that what it was?
891.
891. Realistic speaking, with inflation and cost overrides and so forth, at the end of 10 years, what would you think? $1 billion, $1.2 billion?
I don't want to speculate too much because there's a lot of factors that go into those, but it is, let me say it this way. It's realistic to think that the longer you wait, the higher the price
sure,
goes.
It's going to be. Sure, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you again for your detailed work. Some things we will all agree with. Some of us will agree with, and some none of us will agree with. But thank you so much.
Anyone else have a question, comment? Mrs. Thurman.
I just want to be sure that everybody understands that this is just their 10-year plan, that we really haven't had a chance to have any dialogue with the board here yet at all. And so there's a lot more discussion to come. There's nothing final about this at all, unless the mayor's willing to write a check back there for about $860 million. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, thank you.
And you both just said something I think that does bear saying. We agree and know that we're going to make recommendations that not everybody's going to like, because as much time as we've spent here, We've been here since May 2019. Many of you have been here your whole lives, and there are things that can and cannot be done. The one thing that I will say though is, if it's not those schools and those directions, that's the best thinking we've put around it. And something else that I realized I didn't do is we have a great team that does this work and that spends a lot of time putting these plans together and running various scenarios. So is this the only scenario we could have put together? No. But given our collective expertise and collective knowledge and over 45 years of doing this work for school districts, this was the one that fit the pieces together. But it is incumbent upon the board and the district now to have conversations around it.
Anyone else? All right, Dr. Johnson.
Yeah, Chairman, I just want to reiterate what Ms. Thurman said, Mike, what you spoke to just now, and I'm thinking more about the teaching and learning and leading side. School doors will open tomorrow at their current locations, and they will open in August, with the exception of obviously the work that we're doing at Hillcrest and East Hamilton Middle High students at their current locations. And so this is a long-term conversation, but it's the right conversation. There's a sense of urgency around addressing our capital needs, deferred maintenance, growth, et cetera, but also our eyes on the ball in regards to accelerating student achievement. And so I think continuing this conversation and digging deeper into this conversation and what are the next steps and action steps that we take is something that we're going to be committed to being urgent to doing and having the conversation. I think as stated earlier, I think now the board's got a chance to digest all this information. Obviously, our county mayor's been, being present, being engaged is so helpful. And I think we've got to get to the county commissioners as well. And so whether it's joint conversation, what have you, but then also the board as a whole, just have an opportunity collectively to dialogue around it, I think is an important next step. And so, again, thanks, Mike. And I will point out, I don't know, it's Justin Witt. Oh, Justin Witt's here. He's back in the back. He's got a tie on today, so I didn't even recognize him. But Justin Witt and his folks, Justin's Robertson's team, kudos to you all as well, because I know there was a lot of information that was being requested from MGT throughout the time. And and I want to just put a pin here, as all this information is being requested, we've still got a couple of brand new schools, thanks to the county, that are going up right now. And if the rain stops for any period of time, we might be able to get some traction on getting those projects finished. And so maintaining our current facilities, building new facilities while still trying to develop a 10-year master plan, a lot of balls to juggle, but appreciate the work that you all have done to get this information together.
Mr. McClendon.
Again, thank you. This is more directed towards the board and kind of what Dr. Johnson just said about kind of what's next. I'd like the board to kind of move in that direction faster rather than slower, and really kind of get our hands dirty with this and move forward. After the meeting we had at Brown, where I think Jenny and Caritza and all of us were there talking about what's next, I kind of put it on paper what I kind of thought I would like, and I'll give that up to y'all after the meeting. But definitely some community input, getting our county government, county commissioners in the same room with us, and then as a board, really kind of getting our hands on this and crafting it. Y'all did a great job on this, and it'll be something that I'll read over the next couple of days, but that we can really get our hands on it in a retreat, and be really aggressive with it, and hopefully something for this community in the next 4 or 5 months. That's a final thing that we can move forward on how we're going to tackle it.
Dr. Highlander.
This is Mike. Thank you again. This is more of Dr. Johnson and his team, and it's a parallel to the building needs. I've been doing a lot of reading, I guess everyone else has, about the pandemic possibilities. I know the nation, Japan, has shut down their school system for the next month. And I'm just wondering, I think probably could you put together a plan for us where if we have to go to that route, that we could look at virtual school, Google Classroom, where our teachers and children could be involved. And you may already be doing this, but and I hope so. But I would certainly hope that if our buildings can't be used, that we could. I look at our sister city in Nashville that had that horrible, and our thoughts and prayers go out to those. I think now, last count I heard was 22 lives were lost, and the children there will not be in school. And any kind of catastrophe that we have, if we could have a plan for not just, we have a pretty good plan, I think right now, Dr. Johnson, for short term. If we have, but I'm thinking if we have a few days or weeks that look at virtual school, Google Classroom, things where teachers and children could be actively involved and maintain education. And maybe when you get that together, if you could get us a copy of your plan on that. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll just respond real briefly. We've taken some initial steps in regards to inclement weather. As you may have noted, in our last couple of times we've had inclement weather, we have deployed assignments to kids and encouraged families to be engaged. Justin and Marcia and team have been meeting on obviously the coronavirus as it's across the nation and looks to be spreading more rapidly than I think anybody anticipated initially. So we'll continue with that conversation. Actually, I know Jill sent an email this morning or this afternoon, and I applaud the board because Canvas as a learning management system allows us to be able to do some things, and so we're actively in that conversation, anticipating the very real potential. I'm going to hope not likely, but the very real potential that there could be an extended closure. And what do we do if? And it's always better to have a plan and not need to use it than to
That's my
not
point.
have it.
That's
Absolutely.
my point. Thank you.
Mrs. Thurman?
Yes, I have Rhonda's master plan over here. The only thing I'm not asking for $800,000. I just want to get a football field, a field house built at Sell Creek. 5,000 square feet. If we can do this, surely we can get that done. And a pole barn at Sell Creek High School. That's all I'm asking. And so before we do any of this, I'd like to get that done. Please, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Mrs. Hill?
Rhonda, I have great respect for the way that you advocate for your schools with such specificity. I would like my students to have schools that don't have leaking roofs. I would like for the students at Soddy Daisy High School not to have a school that's infested with cockroaches. I would like for my students at CCA to not have panels falling off the walls while they are practicing. I would like for my schools to be handicap accessible. I would like for my schools, every single one of them and every single one of all of ours, to be safe from intruders. And I think that as we contemplate the responsibility of how we move forward in the next 10 and 20 years with our buildings, that we not get lost in the weeds of the individual phone calls and the individual smaller needs, so that we can take a big, tall look at the global reality of what we face in Hamilton County with regard to our facilities. We're going to waste a lot of time in our planning conversations if each one of us brings every day the small, and I don't discount their importance, but we have got to look at the big picture and let Justin and the rest of the team focus on some of that more immediate needs, so that we can look at the big stuff, or we're just not going to get anything done.
All right. If Mr. Razor is complete, we've got no more questions or comments, and I think we are adjourned.